One thing I want to let y'all know from the get-go, man, is, you know the saying, pimping ain't easy, right? I know it can be, but one thing I'm going to let y'all know, man, is no matter where you get locked up at, it don't matter if you way on the West Coast or down here on the East Coast. Your ass do something you shouldn't do, no matter what kind of person you are, what it is you do for a living. If you do something that is looked at upon the wrong way, you deer meat. For this video here, man, I'm going to be talking about how a pimp got his ass stabbed up down here on the East Coast when he was from the West Coast inside a prison. Let's do it.
Same time of the week, let it be there. Have my people send a message, make sure that it's there. Time for me to collect, bring the shit over here. Cause you can tell them my face, don't make me come over there. I'll run up in your room, put my shank in your neck. Swear to God, I wet you up, better show me respect. I'm hitting licks like nothing, break bread with dogs. Putting on for east side, Davey, this Kfrog, this a robbery. Heard what I said, I got some names I won't say. Most of them dead, for that tune you get as a press on your head. Take the shit out your locker, throw it all on my bed. You got a daughter back you up on camera, but you click. 2 lockers to fit both y'all shit. See me in the cut jamming, smoking the rip. Getting tatted with the money that your people are sent. See on the streets I would've bust you, but in prison I come cut you.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrog TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Want to tell everybody welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a situation that I seen take place when I was locked up in Florida prison. Alright, we're going to be talking about a pimp that came down here and caught a charge that was from the West Coast and found himself locked up down here on the East Coast. Okay, one thing I will say is no disrespect to either coast. Both have their ups, both have their downs, both have their realness, both have their flaws. For this one here though, I'm gonna be talking about how this pimp that landed at the institution I was at ended up having a charge he shouldn't have found himself having. Okay, and when people got wind of it, you best believe he got tore up. Now, before I get into it, I want to let y'all know what made me want to do this video. Okay, the littlest things be like light bulbs in my head. Bing, right? So I was literally watching Friday After Next like a week ago and was eating chicken while watching the movie. And, you know, with Cat Williams and, you know, how he got the little store and he tells the female, everything must go, baby, maybe even you, right? And that made me think like, damn, I remember what happened to this pimp one time on Chicken Day, all right? And that's literally what made me jot down this title, this situation, to break it down for y'all, you feel me? Now, I'm gonna let y'all know how it was. This pimp that came from the West Coast, you know, salute to whoever, you know, does what they do in real life. You know, I ain't got nothing against real pimps out there or nothing. But this certain pimp, now, when he came to the institution, he was kind of off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how it is. Like, when you see somebody, you know, that's a pimp, you see ones that are like the real looking pimps, the ones that are like try to look so manly, you know what I'm saying? They be having a cool ass cane and the suits to match the hat with the chains and the rings on all the fingers and shit and the glasses. And then you got the ones that kind of look like a hoe themselves. You know what I'm saying? The ones that like got female, you know, tendencies and, you know, they look like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? This dude here, he had an image to him where he was a male, but he looked like a female. You know, like he didn't have like the parts like a female, but just his character, you know, the way he was, you know, he had like a bitch made character about him. You know what I'm saying? And like a drag queen or something. You feel me? And when he first came to the institution, I remember him bragging about how, oh, in Cali this, LA, yada, yada, yada. You know, bragging to people and shit. And he had that little stank ass, lame ass, like squeegee pimp voice. You know what I'm saying? Like he would try to act like, you know, like he was better and different because he was from somewhere else. So, you know, we're all from on the East Coast. So whatever the hell he's saying, everybody's like listening. It's like class in session. He's teaching you about the West Coast, right? Well, what ended up happening is he got arrested for some pimping charges and shit like that and human trafficking and different things like that. And one of the charges that he had was it was an underage girl. So that led him in the chomo, you know, category. Once everybody got wind of, you know, that boy was, you know, doing that with underage people, you know, it put him in the category as a chomo. So people wanted his head. Now the crazy thing is when it all came about and when it all was supposed to go down, I had no idea. This is how, no matter, you know, who you know or how plugged in you are, there's certain things that will go on that you will not know about. You know, you're not gonna know every single thing that is about to happen. But one thing I will tell you about old Frog is, since I was cool with so many different people and different, you know, nations, and had my hand in a lot of things, you know, I was about 75 to 85% like knowing when things were gonna take place. But anyways, on this specific day, we're inside the chow hall, right? I'm sitting at a table, and it's me, it's 4 to a table, and I literally got 3 people sitting at the table that I do not know. And I'm gonna explain how that happened. Now, normally when you go to chow down here in Florida prison, you go with your dorm, you feel me? But whether, you know, you're at the front of your line or the last of your line, you're gonna either land at a table with the people that came before you, which is the dorm before you ate, or at the end of your line, the dorm that's coming after you. So that's what happened here. I ended up being at a table. Everyone else was leaving. Everyone left, but then only me and a handful of people were left, and they started filling in the tables with the new dorm. So I'm sitting at the table with these 3, you know what I'm saying, these 3 people I don't know from a, you know, can of paint. And I'm eating and shit like that. We all passing around a little you know, the ramen noodle packages and shit. People usually leave them on the table so everybody could share and get some, you know, the beef flavor and the spicy vegetable, whatever. And all of a sudden I hear one of the dudes at the table say, "Oh, there go that pimp right there." You know, so me, you know, I'm not like, where at? You know, I'm not involved with these dudes. I'm just, you know, I got my head up anyways, you feel me? But I'm just observing and listening to what they're saying. So as we were getting ready to, you know, when them boys went to go walk out, you know, I was being a little nosy. You know, I'm like, shit, well, I'm done eating anyways. I'm not gonna sit here and avoid a problem. You know, I might as well, you know, catch some action, you know what I'm saying, on the way back to my dorm. So as I dumped my tray, them boys had already dumped their tray. Now, out of the 3 dudes, only 2 of them were actually really part of this. One of the other dudes, he was just like me. He just happened to be somebody sitting at the table. He kept going and everything like that, and I was going too. But as I was walking, they had a medical pill line, like people that were waiting to get their meds. And as I was walking, the 2 individuals that were at the table with me that were going to do something ran up to this pimp, ripped his face with a razor blade, right? And he started screaming. Now, when I'm talking about screaming, I feel like anybody would scream if their face was ripped open like that, right? And one of the dudes that cut him, like with the razor blade, the other guy had a banger, and he started stabbing the hell out of this dude, like screaming to tell him to shut up and everything like that. Now, everybody who was in pill line, there was probably like, I'd say 12 to maybe 15 people standing in line. That shit cleared out quick. Everybody said to hell with them pills for the day, stuff like that. And that pimp was laying there bleeding. And the crazy thing about it is, he was screaming, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. That's what he kept screaming. So nobody really knew what was going on. You know, we're just innocent bystanders and we're observing what's going on, right? Later on, when word comes out, you know, that's when we find out what he meant and what he was talking about. The whole situation of like his charges and stuff like that. But I will never forget the last blow that they did to this individual. The last thing that they did to this individual is one of them held him and the other one cut him right here with a razor. He cut him straight across his face right here, and that shit split straight to his eyeballs. They cut him deep to his eyeballs, y'all. And this was like something that I could not believe. Like, nobody was stopping these people. These dudes here were like dead ass like committed to doing this. And as I kept it moving, you know, I was looking back, watching and shit. They're still fucking them up. The guards didn't come. Nothing like that. This is on the way back from chow, like when we're walking around the track going back in the dorm. And as I see from a distance, I see like 2-3 other people that were like, I guess, pimps on the streets that were part of Pimp Nation or something like that. 3 other people started stomping him while he was laying there bleeding. Just walking by, kicking him. Walking by, kicking him. Walking by, kicking him like it was nothing, and just stomping him, kicking, and kept it moving. And later on, these same individuals who did that all had a meeting on the rec yard. So me and a bunch of my homeboys, when we were all out there and shit, we were playing cornhole. If y'all don't know what cornhole is, look it up. I learned how to play that shit in prison. But we were playing cornhole, and them boys had a meeting out there. And it had something to do with real deepness into like pimping that, you know, down here, that shit isn't like, you know, allowed. Like you can pimp, you know, but I'm talking about as far as underage people. You understand? That is totally different. That's looked frowned upon down here. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we found out, because the guards were saying he wrote all in his, like his incident report, like trying to explain what happened and everything. He wrote that dudes found out he was pimping an underage girl, but where he was from, that was allowed. Okay, now this isn't the first time I've heard of this, okay? And I'm pretty sure it's bullshit. You know, I know certain things have they certain, you know, stamps on stuff. You know, certain people allow certain things. Certain areas allow something different than others. I've heard of different gangs in Virginia allowing stuff like that. Okay, I've heard them allowing, like gangs allowing to pimp underage females as well. And sleep with underage. It's as long as it's got to do with the gang, you're allowed to do it. You know, so I've heard that before. So when I heard about this situation going on, I was like, damn, you know, this ain't kind of like the first time I've heard it. But at the same time, my opinion of it is that pimp got what the hell he deserved, y'all. You hear me? He got what he deserved. Straight like that. I feel like if I was in a gang, or if I was a pimp, and I was slapping these bitches, making them break it off, you know, go get that money, ho, bring it home, you know, whatever it was. I feel like anything that I'm a part of, if they condone in that, or they allow that, they're condoning it. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like if they do that, I don't want to be a part of that. You know, I feel like if I was in a gang, right, and we were allowed to have that happen, and that was something that they had to where if you do it, as long as the gang's cool with it, you're straight. I literally, me personally, would end up getting X'd out of my gang due to that. That would be a reason for me to fall back and not want to be a part of this organization no more. Just that one thing, no matter how much blood, sweat, tears, and love I have put in for this organization, if they allowed that, I'd feel like I want out. And I'll do whatever it is I got to do to get out. You know, and rock out against whoever it is I got to rock out. That's why you can't join something, because you never really know what it is that they allow and don't allow. You get what I'm saying? And even though the pimp might have felt like that's what he knows, that's what they allowed where he was, or that's how they did it in the neighborhood he was in, or maybe everybody he knew was pimping her, so he just started pimping her too. Even if he didn't know her age, you know, when you're a pimp, or if you're in a gang and you're pimping a little girl, you gotta know these things. You gotta know a girl's age. You can't fall for the okie doke. Oh, she said she was 18, but really she was 12 or 13. You know, I know a lot of females and stuff, they be, you know, their figure comes at a young age sometimes, but when you're in that line of work, it's your job, you know, to make sure you ain't doing nothing like that. You get what I'm saying? With someone underage. You feel me? It isn't the person underage's job to tell you nothing. It ain't like, oh, they didn't tell me, so I'm straight. Or she lied about her age, I'm straight. No. You feel me? Any other situation, you would have figured it out. You would have dug and you would have seen anything. I guarantee you, if it was an op of yours or someone you weren't cool with, or organization that your gang beefs with, and they were doing stuff like that, I guarantee y'all would dig and find out that they were doing that to get their ass in trouble and get them flipped and stabbed up or harmed by their own. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like that when people try to blame it on the girl didn't say nothing, I feel like that's just an excuse. You understand? And like I said, he was saying it was allowed where he was at, that he wasn't wrong. You know, he felt like how he got done in down here was against the grain of pimp politics. And I'm going to be real with you. My opinion, I feel like he got what he deserved. And I'll never forget when they cut that boy right here, when they cut him, and I seen that boy's eyeball like pop out from up here. I was like, bro, just imagine, bro, he's donezo, dog. There ain't no coming back from that, boy. You blind. Your ass couldn't see she was underage. Well, now your ass ain't finna see women ever again. Your ass finna be blind after that. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes were so committed to harm this pimp that it just shows, like, you know, people got children. People got daughters, you know, nieces. You feel me? Cousins, aunties, moms. You know, and you never really know how deep that hit someone until your ass do something that you shouldn't do. And now they trying to come at you because of that. It may not have nothing to do with them. You could be a part of this gang, and they could be a part of this gang, and this gang, and it ain't got nothing to do with them, the flaws you did, the wrongs you done did to someone underage. But all these gangs over here have a woman in their family, or a child that is a girl, or an underage individual. So they feel some type of way, and it hits them right at home, right here. You feel me? And they do what they need to do. And it was just crazy to me because me being at this institution, I knew a couple of them individuals that kicked them when they, when they were walking by, kicking them. So when everyone got together on the rec yard that day while I was out there playing cornhole, like I said, and everybody was talking and stuff like that, I actually seen some individuals I knew, and I never even knew they were pimping people on the streets. I didn't even know they were into that type of stuff. I thought they were here for something else. A couple of them had life and stuff like that, but it was like, by him doing that, it's like he wasn't just, wanted by regular inmates. You get what I'm saying? He had gang members that wanted to harm him, and then he had people who were pimping on the streets, felt like he wasn't pimping right. You see, that's what was crazy to me. It was like it opened up a whole different world of people, and it was pimps. All these people that were kicking him, that wanted to harm him, that put the hit on him, were people that were once pimping on the streets. People get offended that pimp when they see another person pimp wrong, because they feel like, just like a gang member, when it comes to Xing out other gang members or calling other gang members out on their shit, and the more you fuck up, the more that your rank goes up. The more flawed ones that you end up fucking up, the more your rank goes up. And that's how these pimps look at it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew from the get-go that something had to be off about it, because like I said, he wasn't one of them pimps that looked thorough, like a real goon, like a real, like a one that is like, Pimp C type pimp, like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't one of them. It was one of them ones that had female tendencies. And sure enough, he probably wasn't even pimping right. He was probably friending the young girls, trying to play like he was like a sissy or something, to be friends with them or whatever, and then talking them into doing stuff they shouldn't do, drugging them and getting them to do things that they don't even remember. You understand? That's how it goes. And in the real world, it ain't all the girl's fault for not saying anything. A lot of times they has to be forced to do shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like regardless what his excuse is, if time could rewind and it went all the way back before his ass got sliced and diced and kicked and all that, I feel like nothing should change. It should just and play back again. Play back again. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just look at that. We're on the East Coast. This happened. He was someone from the West Coast that came down here and got caught up. You understand? Yeah, they allow that where you're at, or wherever you were doing it. You weren't wrong. Okay. Hey, we down here on the East Coast ended up being the cleanup crew for some shit that had nothing to do with us. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it goes inside of prison. That pimp got what he deserved. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be wanting to know what pimps do inside of prison and how they act. You feel me? And I'm gonna be real with you. They blend in. The ones that don't blend in as a regular inmate get fucked up. They're not walking around acting like a pimp like they did on the streets. They like this, man. They walk around hush mouth. There might be a couple that are, respected and shit like that, and people embrace them and vibe with them. But I tell you what, if there was 30 pimps on the same compound, I guarantee you only 2 of them are making it known that there was a pimp. 28 of them motherfuckers are like this. I'm just being real with you. They blend in with real inmates. I feel like a regular neutron, someone who ain't even in a gang, can get more notice than someone who was pimping on the streets. You feel me? Like someone that claims themselves to be a real deal pimp. You know what I'm saying? Walk around with a comb and shit, and you know what I'm saying? Trying to make themselves to where they look like a bitch, presentable like a female. That ain't gonna fly in prison. So them boys done got their head shaved. They ain't even had a comb since they've been in there, and they just try to blend in, but they look weak. They look feminine. If you're a feminine person on the street and you're pimping these females because you got part bitch in your blood, female in your ways, when you go out the road, you ain't gonna be able to display that shit. So all you could do is tuck your damn tail, hold it in, and be quiet the whole time your ass in there. And you gonna look soft. A lot of people gonna look at them thinking they fruitcakes. You feel me? People gonna look at him and be like, oh, that's a sissy right there. Really, he might not be a sissy. He was just a pimp on the streets. All he knows is hoes. He hangs out with hoes so much, that's it. You feel me? You can always tell which ones are the ones that got the, you know, the sugar in their tank, because their main beef and problems be with females. Like, they'll straight up line a female up, beat a female, argue with a female back and forth, but they won't get in that paint with a dude. You understand? They won't stand up to another man. You know what I'm saying? If a guy and a girl get in an argument in front of that pimp, he's gonna tag team that girl with the dude. And it could be it could be the girl he's pimping. You feel me? He could be pimping a female, and I could walk up to her and slap her on her ass. She could turn around, scream at me, and now I smack her in the face. And the dude will turn around and say, "Shut up, bitch! Get your whole ass in there. This and that, this and that. You heard him?" Like, that's how they do it. You know, I'm just using that as an example. They ain't gonna want no intention or no problem or animosity from a man. You know, they like to gossip and fight and argue with females, go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Scream, put their hands on the women. It's like they're battling a bitch, because that's their bitch tendencies. That's their ways. You know, they start, you know, carrying their self like the same female they're pimping. You know, they start wearing the same nose rings, the same fucking type of piercings and different looks, same as the bitch you're wanting to go out there and make you money. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that pimp got what he deserved. Not because he was from the West Coast or anything like that, but due to the simple fact that regardless if they allowed that shit where he was, if he was allowed to do it or not, I feel like anybody who does something like that should get what they deserve. You feel me? They deserve worse. You know, believe it or not, you know, when things like this happen to people at a young age, even if the girl didn't tell you her age or she lied about her age, right? Certain kids, which damn near almost all of them, they don't know no better. You know, they don't know their true, you know, they're not old enough to understand things, you know. You got to pass a certain age limit until they break out of that shell and realize they can't make adult choices at such a young age. You feel me? That's why when pimping something like that, you know, you're making the choice for that child. You see what I'm saying? That's why I feel like a lot of times when people do shit like that, a lot of choices that the child would make would be wrong, but that's what you would expect from a child, is wrong choices. You feel me? So if anybody's pimping anybody that is underage, they deserve the worst, bro. You know, you're taking advantage of that young person. Literally, you're calling the shots, adult shots, on a young person. Their mind isn't fully developed yet. You feel me? And I 100% feel like that pimp got what he deserved, dog. He probably can't see till this day, but who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? He got what he deserved, dog. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, shit like this happens all the time. And wherever he went after that, he wasn't able to land on a yard. He wanted to land on a yard, nowhere else. They're going to get him. 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 When somebody gets such a bad cutting and a bad beating, you know, when they land at their next place, it ain't like, oh, it's over with. You know, he's safe here now. No, there's going to be other people over there that are low-key were pimps on the streets that did that shit at least more right than he did, you know, and they're going to be like, oh, come here. Get over here. You know, that's how it goes. You feel me? And like I said, funny reason why I thought about doing this video with y'all anyways, like I said, from watching the movie, but I wanted to share it with y'all to get y'all's input. Let me know what y'all think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm that type of person, like, when something goes down and something happens, I'm more the person, like, I'm going to do whatever I think of at that moment. You understand? If I think, hey, fuck it, just keep walking mind my business, that's what I'm going to do. Or if I think, fuck it, bro, I'm going to kick him one time, or fuck it, bro, whoop him right now for all, then, you know, that's what it is. But then I find myself later on thinking, like, damn, I should have did this. Or after I do certain things, I'll find myself later on saying, damn, I should have never did that. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of the, like, actions first, and then I'll deal with the consequences later on the back end. You know, that's how I am. And I swear, man, just thinking about it and open up them old memory doors down memory lane of this situation, I wish I would have walked a little bit slower and got, you know, kicked him in his shit a couple times my damn self. That's how I look at it. You feel me? But I want y'all to drop in the comment sections. Let me know what y'all think. How is, you know, pimps where you're from? Have you ever seen one locked up? How do they act? Can you relate to anything that I'm saying right here? You know, and I don't want people on the West Coast to think that I'm calling the West Coast out or that I'm, you know, bashing them because of this individual. It's none of that. I fought with the West Coast. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let y'all know that's where he was from. You know, I'd rather give y'all a background story of the person than just speak on him. You know what I'm saying? So, no harm. I don't mean no disrespect to anybody or stuff like that. But if you are from the West Coast and you're watching this video, Drop in the comment sections and let the people know what you would do to that individual on the West Coast. You understand? Because I feel like he was full of shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like they really allow that on the West Coast like that. You know, maybe the little circle he was in, you know, but I'm pretty sure that is something that, you know, regardless what it is, I feel like an underage child is not allowed to be pimped regardless. I don't give a damn where it is. Unless you're in like a country somewhere where they do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like a different country. But in the United States, I don't think they allow it anywhere. People get away with it, but I don't think it is allowed. You understand? That's the easiest way I can explain it to y'all. But anyways, man, like I said, the comment section's open. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all think that boy got what he deserves? That boy shit was ripped open, boy. Like he was, like if he could see, that boy would be able to look like from here and in there. From there, from in and there. You know, so that boy got his shit. You feel me? Like if this one wasn't bad enough, then the getting hit a couple times and then getting your shit cut, and then even the kicks and shit, like, oh my God. Could just only imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like what he went through. You feel me? But hey, it is what it is. But anyways, like I said, comment section's there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all already know, like I always say, make sure you keep them rats, squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, and the motherfucking people that be out there trying to traffic underage people, man. Keep them out your circle. You know what I'm saying? And until next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.
I'm a criminal, I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though.
I'm a cool nigga, but I got a limit though. Cause I'm a criminal, yeah, I'm a criminal.